You know, there's this phrase in the Bible that at first glance sounds like some seriously terrible advice. Give place to wrath. I mean, does that mean we should just let anger win? Well, it's a command that really goes against every single one of our instincts. And today, we're going to unpack what it really means. Okay, so to really get this, we have to start with a feeling we all know a little too well. That deep, burning urge to settle a score. Come on, you know the feeling, right? That hot sting of injustice when someone wrongs you. Your first thought probably isn't about grace or forgiveness. It's more like, oh, I'm going to make this right. And let's be honest, making it right almost always means making them pay.
And that is the conflict at the heart of it all. Our instincts just scream, fight back, retaliate, get your own justice. So choosing a different path, choosing to hold back, well, that's one of the toughest tests there is.
So it's right into the middle of that very human, very messy struggle that the Bible drops this completely counterintuitive command. To get the full picture, we need a little context. This command comes from the Apostle Paul, and he's right in the middle of explaining what it looks like to live out a faith that's practical, sacrificial, and built on a pretty revolutionary kind of love. And here it is. Do not avenge yourselves, but rather give place to wrath. Now, that first part is pretty straightforward. Don't take revenge. Okay, got it. But that second part, give place to wrath? What on earth does that mean? Are we supposed to just welcome our anger? Let it take over? It seems to contradict everything. Okay, let's dig in, because the key to unlocking this whole thing is actually hidden in the original language. So this phrase, give place, it's built on a really clear picture. It literally means to make room for something, to physically create space, to step aside so that something else has the opportunity to work. And here's the other half of the puzzle. The wrath being talked about here, it isn't our own fleeting emotional anger. The context makes it really clear this is referring to God's wrath, his perfect, righteous justice against sin. So here's the aha moment. When you put those two definitions together, the command suddenly becomes crystal clear. Give place to wrath doesn't mean embrace your own anger. It means get out of the way, step aside, make room for God's justice to work in his own perfect way and in his own perfect time. And this idea, it builds on a much bigger theme we see all through the Bible. That ultimate justice, well, it's God's job, not ours. I mean, this just lays out the two paths so clearly. On one side, you have our default setting, get even, retaliate, take revenge. But on the other, you have God's instruction, give place, trust, and wait. It's a conscious choice to step out of our column and into his. And this isn't some new idea that Paul just came up with. Way back in the book of Proverbs, we find the exact same wisdom. Don't go around saying, I'm going to get even. Instead, wait. Trust that the one who sees everything is going to handle it. Ultimately, what this all comes down to is an act of deep faith. It's about consciously laying aside our own desire to be the judge, the jury, and the executioner, and instead trusting that God's justice is so much more perfect and complete than ours could ever be. But here's a really important part. This isn't just about passive waiting. It's not enough to just not do something. The instruction pivots from what we should avoid to what we must actively do. Just 2 verses later, Paul brings it all home with this powerful conclusion. See, the goal isn't just to resist evil, it's to conquer it. And what's the weapon you use to fight back? Goodness, kindness, love. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, you can think of it as a 3-step process. First, you make the conscious decision to let go of your right to revenge. Second, you place your trust in God's ultimate justice. And third, you replace that desire for vengeance with proactive, real acts of good toward that person. And look, this isn't a one-off idea. This message is woven through the entire New Testament. You hear it from Jesus himself, you hear it from Paul in his other letters, you hear it from Peter. The instruction from every single angle is the same. Break the cycle of retaliation and inject blessing and goodness into the world instead. So what's the big takeaway here? It's both simple and incredibly profound. When we take vengeance into our own hands, we're essentially trying to do God's job. The command to give place to wrath is really a call to stop playing God and just get out of his way. And that leaves us with a final, very personal question.
This isn't just theology. It's a practical, everyday challenge. So think about your own life, your own hurts. In whose way do you need to stop standing to finally give God the room he needs to work?